I progressed through year 7 through to year 11, and when I got to the end of year 11, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I always had an ambition to be a firefighter, and that was pretty much it. So I followed my friends into sixth form, which after the first year didn't really lead me anywhere I wanted to go. I didn't do very well in my grades, so I left. And I remember getting home, and my dad said to me, "You're not going to stay in my house without either working or being in school. So you better go out and get a job." So I walked out, and that's exactly what I did. I grabbed my coat and I went out, and I just started going into shops, saying, "Have you got a job for me? What can you do?" And in the end, actually, I worked as a lifeguard in the leisure centre. I walked in, I said, "Have you got any jobs? Have you got a reception job or something like that?" And they said, "Well, we are looking for lifeguards, but you'd have to do the course." So I said, "Okay, well, I can do that." So I went and did the 2-week course and became qualified as a lifeguard, which was a fantastic job. It got me a bit of money, and it was local. I could walk to work. It was perfect. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. And the game for me, the end game for me and my now wife, was that we wanted to go and travel the world, and that required earning a little bit more money and getting some money in the bank so we could do that. So I looked around, and I just knew I didn't want to work inside. I needed to be outside. I was much more practical with my hands. So I found a local landscaping company based in Chipping Norton, and I went and worked with them for 2 years, which Matt Jackman, who was the boss of the company, he was very kindly put me to college in the evenings for 2 days a week while I worked there for the 2 years, and I got some qualifications, a few bits of paper that said I could do what I could do. And it was good. But then I saved my money, and me and my girlfriend at the time, we went away, and we travelled the world for just under a year. And for any of the young people in the audience, if you ever get the opportunity, or there's something that you can go and do a bit of travelling while you're going, I would really recommend it, because it opened my eyes dramatically. And I came back, even after just a year, a different person. I felt like I grew up a lot. And because you just see what the rest of the world has to offer, and it just opens your eyes. So when I came back, I felt like I sort of got the travelling out of my system a little bit, and I wanted to sort of try and start getting a bit more serious. But I wasn't quite sure, so I knew I had this sort of skill in landscaping, and that's what I sort of wanted to have a go at. So through friends of the family and bits and pieces, while I wasn't sure what I was going to do, they kept saying to me, "Oh, Mark, can you come and do this? Can you come and do my fence? Can you come and lay my patio for me?" And I slowly thought, well, hang on a minute, I could actually do something about this. I could start a business. So it was very nerve-wracking, and I wasn't quite sure how to go about it. But I went and bought a very rusty old van, and raided my dad's shed for old tools, and loaded it up. And I printed, I haven't got it anymore, but I printed a little card with a big smiley face on it saying Mark Caswell Gardening. And it was on paper, and I just put it around in the post offices and the local places around the town. And the phone calls started to come, and I started to sort of progress, and slowly the diary went from sort of, half days to full days to 3 days a week to 4 days a week. And then eventually, after sort of a couple of years, I was 5 days a week, and I was running a relatively successful business. I had a couple of young lads, or younger lads, that helped me out during the day for larger projects. And throughout my time, I sort of tried to just expand my skills as much as I could. So I saved up and put myself on a chainsaw course. So now we take on certain forestry aspects. I went and did my trailer test, so that now I can tow large trailers. I just think that's if you take anything from away today, I would just say, don't be held back by thinking, "Oh, well, I haven't got that, I'm nervous." Be strong and be confident in yourself, and push forward, and just say, "Look, I'm going to give it a go." And if it doesn't work out for you, who cares? Try again. Step back and say, "Okay, what did I do wrong there? Let's have another go." And and now my brother came on with me as well, because he was in a very similar situation. He's 2 years younger than me, and he didn't know what to do, so he came and worked for me. And for 6 years, we ran a relatively successful business. We were busy all the time, and we did some really exciting projects, and it worked really well. And also, just on the side, going back to being a firefighter, because I wanted to be a firefighter, I was desperate to do that, I actually did. So I went and became a firefighter at Chippy as a retained firefighter on the side of my business. And I was a firefighter there for again, probably about 8 months to a year, I can't remember now. But I absolutely loved it, but unfortunately for me, my business was taking off, and it was too much for me to be able to try and hold the fire service and the business together. So I had to make a call, and I decided to leave the fire service. But again, I suppose something I'd like, if you wanted to take anything away, is that I don't let sort of childhood dreams just disappear. I mean, that was something I always wanted to do, and it was always in the back of my mind. So even though I was busy with my business, I decided that I want to give it a go. So I just walked up to the fire station and asked the question, what do I have to do to be a firefighter? And they said, well, fill in the form, we'll see if we can get you on the course. So we had to go through different physicals and tests and things like that, and lucky I passed them all. And you go away and you do your training, and then you slowly learn through other people on the station, and it's something I've thoroughly enjoyed. And again, I would just say to people in the audience that just don't be deterred by something that you think might be out of your reach, because if you just go and ask the question, be bold, go in and say, excuse me, how do I get to do this? And I think you'll find 9 times out of 10 the answer will be positive, and you'll be able to move forward, and if not, learn from it and go forward. So yeah, the business was going really well, and then we got asked to go over to do some work at Great Chew for a company who was renting land off the Great Chew estate called Soho House, and they've created a sort of a hotel complex in a way. I mean, a way I would sort of, I don't know if they'd like me explaining it this way, but it's a posh version of Centre Park. So I look at it. They've got they've got all these log cabins over a 100-acre plot, which is going to be expanded to 200 acres in the near future, with different restaurants and pools and ice rinks and football pitches and cinemas, and they've got all sorts. It's a very impressive place, and it's moving forward. But they were struggling with the landscaping, so they brought my company in, and we pushed forward the landscaping. And we obviously did something right, because Nicholas Johnson, who is the owner of the Great Chew estate, asked me to come in to the office and have a chat with him. And basically he asked if I would take my entire company and team over to the estate and start working solely for him. And it was a very nerve-wracking decision, and I said no. And I said no to start with, off of what, and we had to discuss and really bounce back, and he was really quite keen that he wanted me there. And after a while, I decided that yes, I would. I would put my business on hold and then go and work for the Great Chew estate, because this project is very exciting, and it was just something on a much larger scale than what I've done up until now. So I gave it a go, and currently I'm the landscape manager for Great Chew for the Soho House project and for any other landscaping projects on the estate. And I've got my brother who came along with me, and I've got two lads who also came along, and then someone else who I bring in when I can. So we've got a team of up to 5 of us that work on the estate, and it's going really well. We're very happy over there. It's sort of a new chapter to my career, I suppose, and we're going to I will play it by ear. You never know, in the future I might come back and start working for my business again, start my business up again and give it a go. But it's rather brief, but that's my story. That's how I got to where I am. So if there's anything like I've already said towards the audience, is just be bold and be brave and have confidence in yourself, because that's what I did. I was very nervous when I first started my business, but just go for it, and I'm sure you'll do well.